Hello to the staff and patrons of Boulder Bookstore and readers everywhere. My name is Jennifer Ziegler, and I'm here to talk about my new book, Worser, which is out March 2022 with Holiday House. So, Worser is about a 12-year-old boy named William Wyatt Orser, or if you take the W from William and you take the Orser, you get his nickname, Worser. And Worser is dealing with a lot of change in his life right now. And all 12-year-olds deal with change in their life, but he is dealing with quite a bit more than usual. He is a word lover and has been raised by his mother, who is an English professor. And he doesn't really have too many friends. Actually, none. And he thinks that he wants it that way. But really, this is about him figuring out that he does need people. And he finds a community, and it helps him be okay with change. So, Worser came about actually through Worser. He just kind of showed up one day in my head and started talking to me in that very exacting way that he has of speaking because he's so familiar with words. And where that voice came from, I am not sure. I have a lot in common with Worser. I'm a word nerd. I love words. He collects them in a notebook that he calls his masterwork, which is a lexicon. I don't collect them per se, but I do write, and I write novels. Um, I also think the way he's dealing with change, I was also dealing with change at that time. Um, Change that is not the ultimate change, loss that is not the ultimate loss. Uh, my kids were getting older, and I was so happy to see the young people that they were becoming. But I also was missing the babies and the toddlers that they used to be. So I think maybe he is a mixture of me and also young people that I used to teach when I was a classroom teacher in middle school classroom teacher. And I'm not really sure how it works, but you take all those things, and it's as if my imagination is one giant juicer, and out comes a character who just shows up one day and starts talking and won't go away. And then I know that I have to write the story. That is a really difficult question. I do not have a favorite bookstore or favorite used bookstore, but I just love bookstores. And I have always just felt at home in bookstores and libraries surrounded by books. And each of those books are portals to another world and into an adventure. And I've always felt that way since I was very little. And I've worked in bookstores and I've worked in libraries, and they are just my place. So, no, I don't have a favorite. I love them all. And, and I hope that I am able to someday visit Boulder Bookstore. Oh, I definitely have advice because I had that same goal when I was young. So here's my advice. First of all, if you want to be a writer, it's simple. You write. So any young person who is already writing regularly can call themselves a writer. You don't have to be published to call yourself a writer. So this doesn't make me a writer. This makes me an author. If I never write another word, I can't call myself a writer. If someone is regularly putting in the time and writing, then you already are a writer. And keep at it. Keep writing. You just can't help but get better. It's like with anything. It's like learning an instrument or learning a sport. The more you do it, the better you will get. The second thing that you should do is read. Read all kinds of things. You probably have a favorite kind of story, and maybe it's the kind of story that you like to write, and that is great. You should read things that are in your comfort zone. You should read for pleasure. But you should also try other things. You should try different genres. You should try mystery. You should try horror. You should try romance. You should try different forms as well. You should try poetry. You should try books in verse. You should try nonfiction. You should try graphic novels. You should read books that were written before you were born. You should read books that originated in other countries, because all of that reading is going to teach you storytelling that you can apply to your writing. Mystery will help you learn how to plot very carefully. Nonfiction will teach you research. Memoir and romance will teach you about developing characters and relationships. And then poetry and books in verse and picture books can teach you how to write more lyrically, more vividly, and teach you things at the line level. So you should definitely read, but read a variety of things. And remember, you never get too old to read something. So it doesn't matter how strong a reader you are, picture books are always for you. I read picture books every day. And my third piece of advice is live your life. You have to have something to write about. So you shouldn't just read and write. You should go out and be engaged in the world and learn more about it and observe people and ask yourself questions. What if this had happened instead of this? And you will find story ideas everywhere. So you should write, read, engage in life. And the fourth and final thing you should do is you should believe in yourself. You have to have faith, because I believe in you. And you probably have supportive adults around you. Hopefully you do, in your family, educators who believe in you. And that is great, but you have to believe in yourself. And nothing is ever perfect the first time you put it down. It's never perfect for me the first 10 or 100 times I put it down. But keep at it and believe that you will get it right. And those are the 4 things that you need to do to become a writer. And now I would love to read a little bit from Worser for you. In this scene, remember I talked about how Worser is dealing with a whole lot of change in his life? Well, he's looking for a refuge, a sanctuary, a place where he can go just to get away from it all. And this is the scene where he finds the perfect place. Worser was standing at the base of a tall metal pole, the top of which listed the stores in the shopping center, and his eyes locked on to one beloved word: book. Somewhere nearby was a place called Revisions Used Books. Tossing his cup and wrapper into a metal trash bin, he located the storefront and made a beeline across the parking lot toward it. Worser stepped into the store, his arrival announced by a strip of bells hanging on the opposite side of the door. Once inside, he paused to take in the surroundings, a strange calm seeping over him. The store was laid out in the shape of a capital L for literature, or learning, or lair. The bottom part of the L, where he now stood, held racks of children's books, paperbacks, and magazines facing the windows. On his right was a sales counter with a man sitting atop a high stool behind the register. Behind that was a dim hallway with an employees only sign over the doorway. But it was the other part of the L that made up most of the store and captivated Worser. He could see bookcases lined against the wall on the left, and more that stretched out in rows facing him, each filled with books of every color and thickness, countless numbers of words in countless combinations, all of them beckoning to him. He wondered if this was how explorers felt when they stumbled upon unfamiliar lands. "Excuse me, sir," he said to the man behind the counter. "Has this place been here long?"
"What are you, a reporter?"
"I just never heard about it."
What every business owner wants to hear."
Worser wandered up and down the aisles with his hand out, enjoying the feel of his fingertips gliding over the little speed bumps of the book spines. As he rounded the third and final row of bookcases, he came across a rectangular oak table neatly hidden in the back of the store. His mouth curved into a small smile. "Sir," he returned to the man behind the counter, "could I sit at the table in the back and work on a project?"
"Kid, this isn't a library. If you're going to read a book, you have to buy the book."
"Actually, I'm going to be writing. Might I sit there for that?"
"That table is for paying customers only."
Worser cast his gaze about until he spotted a worthy item. "I'll buy this pocket dictionary." The man let out a long sigh.
"Fine, but don't be a nuisance, all right? I like things quiet."
"There won't be any problems." Again, Worser realized he was smiling. He found the place comforting. The bookcases overflowing with stock, some books stuck on top of others, oversized or odd-shaped tomes leaning every which way on the bottom shelves. The way dust toned down the colors and swirled in the sunlight, angling in from the front window. The musty, woody smell. He even delighted in the gruff disposition of the store owner. It reminded him of home, the way home used to be before. Thank you.